Hello, it's another stand-up from Hereward the Woke. I'm waging war against the Norman invaders on the Red Wall, who keep having a go at we woke. So, what's been happening this week? We heard that Harry Kane was launching his own brand toilet roll and toothpaste in a bid to make thousands. Harry Kane regularly wipes the floor with the opposition. Now the opposition can wipe their asses with Harry Kane. Is that Harry Kane own brand sugar, wickerwork chairs, raspberries and candy? Hope it isn't, because he'll have a job trademarking those, won't he? I think Harry's spent too long on the bench, don't you? I think the whole thing is a piss take by some of the players at Man City, don't you? I also heard about a dad furious because a school told his 13-year-old daughter period pain isn't a legitimate reason to be. Which raises the question, what is a legitimate excuse to be off? You hate the school so much you'd make up any other excuse to skive off. Yes, that will do nicely. We also heard that class clown Boris said that he was excited that people can exchange bodily fluids again at this week's Tory conference. So good, things are back to normal. Boris can have a crap and then shake hands with you. Jacob Rees-Mogg can spit in your champers, and Michael Gove can rub his naked body up and down yours at the party conference dance. And apparently, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, swears by a workout also loved by Princess Diana. The workout's called Prince Charles, isn't it? I bet he was good for a 5-minute workout 30 years ago, wasn't he? I think it's the workout where you drive down a tunnel at 100 miles an hour and then smash the car into a wall. Amazingly, doctors in Lithuania found more than 2 pounds of nails and screws in the stomach of a man who started swallowing them when he quit alcohol. Tell the man we don't mind, we still need builders, so he's earned himself a golden passport and visa. But tell him not to hold screws and nails in his mouth while he's up a ladder. Don't miss out, said the Daily Mail this week, why young people should get their COVID jab this autumn or risk not being able to do the things they love. Are they trying to say you can't watch EastEnders if you're not vaccinated? However, from what I heard, if you watch a Premier League match, you stand a very good chance of catching it, because none of the buggers are vaccinated. Now let's get real. All teenagers love to do is sleep. Does this jab send you to sleep? That sounds like heroin to me. Just say no, kids. It's the Taliban just trying to shift some old stock. Decades of dithering, said the Sun. Boris Johnson blasted David Cameron and Theresa May, don't I? For lacking the guts to fix Britain. They did fix Britain. They brought us Brexit and fixed our feet to the floor with 6-inch nails. But look, Boris, perhaps May and Cameron didn't fix Britain, but at least they didn't completely fuck it all together, did they? Green activists may be searched for glue and handcuffs under proposed new powers, while the police should be searched for handcuffs and date-rape drugs. The lady formerly known as Grimes was recently spotted reading Karl Marx days after her split with billionaire Elon Musk. Karl Marx was one of the best authors. Karl Marx is one of the best authors for aspiring lesbian astronauts. One of Karl Marx's best quotes is, "The last capitalist we hang shall be the one who sold us the rope." What about capitalists who sell rockets, Karl? I'd watch out if I was you, Marlon. Apparently, in the 1950s, the US Air Force dropped an atomic bomb on a South Carolina family's backyard, and its TNT detonator exploded, leaving a 50-foot crater after a B-47 Navigator unwittingly pulled the plane's emergency release handle. And we let the American have nuclear bases in the UK, didn't we? Fucking hell. Good job Boris Johnson isn't a navigator. He'd ask the way to Russia and accidentally drop the bomb on London, wouldn't he? That's one way of levelling up, isn't it, Boris? Did all American nuclear bombers have an emergency release handle? Where do you put them? Next to the bloody handbrake? There was a problem with Facebook this week. There was chaos as servers crashed and staff were left paralysed on snow day. And there was I, thinking they used cocaine every day on Facebook. Don't laugh. This week, comedian Jimmy Carr confirmed that he's a dad and has called his son Rockefeller. Rockefeller? I'm worried. Has anyone asked the Rockefellers if any of their children have been kidnapped recently? This is Jimmy Carr we're talking about. Reports are that the first words of Rockefeller Carr were, "Can I have a new name, please, Daddy?" The press then went on to inform us that a fisherman had found a 66 lump of whale vomit floating off a Thai beach that could be worth nearly £1 million. Those bloody Thailand holidays are expensive, aren't they? So tell Stanley Johnson there's no need to save the whales. They only have to get a dose of the winter vomiting bug and they could bloody buy Britain, couldn't they? They're not short of a penny, are they, whales? The Daily Mail wrote that Prince Charles will live in a flat above the shop and Buckingham Palace will be thrown open to the public in a radical overhaul of the royal estate when he becomes king. So that's the first flat above a shop with 200 bedrooms, is it? Where's the flat? Bloody Hereward? Talking about royalty, we heard that Sarah Ferguson may be quizzed by lawyers about Prince Andrew's Pizza Express alibi. Sarah, did he have anchovies and pineapple, or plain cheese and tomato? Because only paedophiles like anchovies, don't they? And it proves it, doesn't it? This week, the owner of a severed finger was traced by police in Southampton. He had tried to give a finger to a passing police car, hadn't he? Who chopped it off before having second thoughts and feelings of regret. Sir Paul McCartney hid a cannabis crop he grows on his farm, so teens don't steal it. Gone are the days when the Beatles were put in prison for smoking pot. Now we let them have whole bloody farms of it. You can't keep an old pothead down, can you? Of course Paul's gonna hide his pot. Put it under the mattress, Paul, like Justin Bieber, David Beckham, and all the others do. Don't tell Jeremy Clarkson, but Caleb has just found his and smoked it all. You will freeze, said the Sun, as Russia sent a terrifying threat as millions of Brits face a winter crisis. I think we should have let Vlad Putin kill people with Novichok. Then at least we might have had us a bit of gas. Why hasn't Boris got any gas? That's why we haven't got any lorry drivers and fruit pickers, isn't it, Boris? This week, we heard that China's noisy dancing grannies were silenced by a device that disabled speakers. Well, that should sort out any attempt at a comeback from the Spice Girls then, shouldn't it? According to the Sun, a cuddly carnivore called the giant sloth was a bloodthirsty meat-eater and may have snacked on humans. However, the Sun doesn't know much about animals, does it? From what I've heard, you didn't have to be Usain Bolt to outrun a sloth. Sloth, son. The clue's in the bloody name. Sloth. Also this week, a real-life Rapunzel admitted bugs sometimes get trapped in a 51-inch long hair. Haven't you heard of a brush and comb, love? Definitely not a date to take back home to Mum, is she? Nice hair. Shame about the ants, woodlice and earwigs though, isn't it? Finally, the Daily Star dug up the story of the week. Parents did the school run in Disney pyjamas after being told to smarten up by one head teacher. But nay, watching parents walking around in Disney pyjamas is the closest poor working class children are ever going to get to a visit to Disneyland, isn't it? This school in the north of England is now on every terminally ill child's bucket list. To has been Hereward the Woke, taking on all the far-right libertarians, making up stories about wokes.